Welcome. Welcome, everyone. It's Angelo Robles. Tonight, the Continuity Index, my live rollout. So, the Continuity Index, is your family and family office actually good or just merely rich? For families who run a family office and for the ones who haven't built one yet. It's 44 questions, takes 20 minutes. And the two numbers that decide whether your wealth, your legacy compounds across the generations or quietly, and usually it's quiet, but quietly declines. There are two kinds of people, I guess you could say, on this live tonight. The first may have or run a family office. And the honest question, you've never had a clean way to answer is this: is it actually good or just kind of expensive? The second hasn't built one yet. You've got the wealth. What you have instead of a family office is a collection of advisors and institutions, each one taking a fee, and no one ever totaling what the absence of real structure, integration, and control is costing you every single year. Two different rooms, same problem underneath. Neither of you has ever had an honest measure of where your family actually stands. Not big, not busy, not well staffed, not well known, good, maybe great, built, sound. Tonight, I'm going to give you that measure. It's real. It'll take you, when you have a moment, 20 minutes, and it works whether you have a family office or not. So there's kind of a reference point problem. Let me tell you why this is actually, it's pretty hard and why it has nothing to do with intelligence. At this level of wealth, the greatest risk is not lack of intelligence. It's lack of reference points. Your sense of good comes from your own arrangement, a few friends' arrangements, perhaps a dinner conversation. You've maybe never seen genuine excellence up close. So you're grading on a curve that you kind of invented in a very opaque industry. And if you don't have a family office yet, it's worse. You have even fewer reference points because you never have been inside a great one. You only know what your advisors have shown you, and they are not paid to show you what you're missing. Here is the part that should bother you. Mediocrity can survive for decades, wearing a costume of excellence because no one in the room has ever seen better or wants you to see better. I spent 20 years inside more than 100 incredible family and family offices across multiple continents. I'm not commenting on this from the outside. I'm inside the rooms, and I'll tell you this plainly. The distance between the family office a family thinks it has or thinks it doesn't need, and the truth is probably the most expensive gap in this entire industry. Nobody measures it because nobody kind of has a reference point. Tonight, I hope to give you the context to that reference point. What I call the instrument is something I created, been working on for a couple of months. It's called a continuity index. It measures your family against 6 capabilities. The 6 that separate families who compound across generations from the ones who quietly fade away and eventually collapse. It's not a survey. I think of it as being a mirror. So again, 6 capabilities, 44 questions. Each one scored a 2, 5, or 10, not against your peers, but against what a genuine 10 actually looks like. Because your peers, it turns out, are, trust me, I've been doing this for decades, mostly guessing too. I mean, technically 440 points maximum in total. And now it's fully digital, easier than when I soft launched it last week as a PDF. One click and the index opens, nothing to print, nothing to score by hand. Your score appears the moment that you finish, the total and the two numbers that matter more than it. Because the number is never really the point. Two numbers buried inside your score actually matter more than the total. And the pattern between them shows you something you almost certainly cannot see from inside your own situation. I'll get to those two because they're kind of the whole game. But before we measure performance, there's a gate. I call it section 0, kind of the chassis. And this is the part that serves kind of both rooms at once. If you have a family office, before you ask how well it runs, you ask whether it's properly built at all. The legal structure, the tax architecture, the domicile. A brilliant family office on a defective chassis is thus the liability compounding quietly. And if you don't have a family office yet, my section 0 does the same work in the other direction. It prices the gap. It tells you what the absence is costing you every year, and then the 6 capabilities become your blueprint. You get to build it right once from the start instead of inheriting the defects that most families take decades to discover. Now let me walk you through the 6. I'll read you actually some of the actual questions because the questions are where my 20 years of this work lives. So the 6 capabilities. The first one, to me, is decision quality. Everything else compounds really on top of this one or erodes beneath it. When you make a 9-figure decision, is the advice in the room neutral or is everyone giving it paid kind of by the outcome? Most principals have never once had a consequential decision examined by someone who didn't, especially if from the outside, profit from it. And if you don't have a family office, every piece of advice you get right now is arriving from someone likely selling you a product because it's outside your family office attached to it. And this one, can the family instantly recall why it made a decision years ago? The reasoning, the context, what it learned? Or does that knowledge live in 2 or 3 heads or evaporate the day that person retires? The single greatest vulnerability in dynastic wealth has always been the judgment, especially from the family, that doesn't transfer. It dies with people. Hold that thought because it's about, from my perspective, to stop being true. Capability 2, execution speed. A brilliant decision that takes 6 months to execute is often worse than a good decision executed in a week. The sharpest question, it's kind of what I call shocking competence. If a genuinely sharp outsider spent one day watching how your family and family office moves with the speed and the precision, like practically in a good way, unsettle them? Or would it look like every other family and family office that they've ever seen? Shocking competence is the tell. It's the visible signature of real infrastructure underneath. And it's now the fastest way from the outside to tell which families are pulling away. I've been pounding this hard for the last year. My experience, especially in the largest family offices in the US and beyond, they're mainly structured, especially now, on first principles thinking. And in terms of what else provides a shocking competence besides that, I would look at their speed, their ability to execute, because this world, from geopolitical duress to grave challenges to opportunities, is moving faster than ever before. The third one, and I know I'm getting a little distracted, but what do you expect from me, is bottlenecks. If you have bureaucracy, if you have layers, and one day, in a week or two, I'm going to get to committees. They can be good, and they could be really bad. That only partially relates to quote unquote bottlenecks. But those three things, I mean, if you want shocking competence, have incredible first principles, have the ability to move quickly, and get rid of bureaucracy and bottlenecks. And really, a real simplistic answer that we're going to get to relatively shortly, if you hire incredibly well and you pay them incredibly well, like you almost can't go wrong. Almost, but we almost all find a way in a long enough time frame, but perhaps not the subject as much tonight. I'm going to give you also a blunt one. When something genuinely matters, does the family move? I promise this will come back to speed. Or does it schedule? In 20 years of watching which families pull ahead, urgency is among the first traits that separate them. Not intelligence, not pedigree, not capital. They move while everyone else forms a committee. Capability 3. Oh, the big one. Strength of people. I'll say something most of this industry will not say out loud. Most family offices, they can be overstaffed and undercapable. And most families without a family office are over-advised and underserved. Paying 5 institutions to do badly what one capable structure, a really good family office, could do well. The question that exposes it, if 2 or 3 of your most important people or most important advisors walked tomorrow, how much of your capability walks out with them? A family that depends, and I know great people are very valuable, but that much on someone holding the keys to the kingdom is going to be fragile. Sophistication is what survives kind of the resignation. Capability 4, clarity of purpose. Most families don't actually know like what the wealth is for. Here's kind of the shape of it. Most families have a balance sheet that spans generations and a purpose that expires with whoever built it. They can hand down the money, but are they handing down the knowledge and the reason? So the question is almost as simple as that. Does this family have a clear, shared understanding of what the wealth is for? Beyond preserve it and grow it, that's not good enough. Preservation is a method, not a mission. Don't lose it is a fear. Wearing purpose's clothes. And a family organized around fear will produce decades of activity without really true accomplishment. Capability 5. Well, they're all important, but this is an important one. The adaptability of systems. This is the one that has, to me, moved the most in the last year, and the one where the gap, I think, is probably opening the fastest. On artificial intelligence, the vast majority of families, family office or no family office, are, trust me, there's one subject I know in the family office world. It is going to be AI. The vast majority. And you're all registered for my private Zoom tomorrow, meeting Monday, August 3rd, aren't you? On this exact subject. Like on artificial intelligence, again, the vast majority of families, because you need to hear it again, family office or no family office, they're not even a step behind. They're a category behind. So kind of some questions, I guess you could say, that I want to throw up on the wall. The capabilities that generate your family's edge, the compute, the models, the data. Do you own them or are you renting them from parties who can change the terms on you, the price, and really your access at will? Alex Karp of Palantir said it cleanly. Serious institutions, I'll say serious family offices, own your means of production, not the output, the actual means. Anything you merely rent, and sometimes in a short term, and selectively, that can occasionally be the right choice. But it could be revoked in an afternoon. on terms that you never negotiated at all. And this one, when your family uses AI, is it opening a window and asking questions or building things, including memory, institutional knowledge, and literally building things that persist? Chatting is consumption, building is capital formation. A family 1 year into building has a year of compounding, the capability that a chatting family, however sophisticated it sounds, simply does not have and cannot buy. And here's the opening. A family without a legacy family office and its 20 years of habit can often build an AI native from scratch faster than an established family office can retrofit. No family office is not only a gap built right, it might be a head start. Own the brain, rent the horsepower. Another name besides Alex Karp, Chamath Palihapitiya. Interesting comment. I've been saying this for a while, but he may have a little more credibility and scale to many of you. It's the whole argument in one sentence. You cannot rent intelligence from the same place that rents it to your competitor. When every family feeds the same sources, every family converges, right? Same analysis, same conclusions, the same weak. Alpha is divergence. And divergence cannot come, I don't believe, from a brain that everyone else shares. Now, I might have meant that in talking about frontier closed model AI compared to having your own metal, your hardware, and using more. I use both, but having an understanding of being sovereign and having things be very private, because a family office is all about privacy, control, and customization, coupled with first principles, like I said earlier, making quick decisions where it's needed, and obviously removing bottlenecks. We don't need bureaucracy, especially in usually a pretty modest-sized organization like a single family office. But what I just said, suppose you all use the same attorneys, the same banking leaders, or so you think, custodians. I use some of them too. But you're getting a collective of data and information, often from, to me, mediocrity. I want to be private. I want alpha. I want to control my alpha. And if I'm all going through the same sources, often from very similar people with a similar, often age and educational background, like I'm not, with some exceptions, of course, you got to know who they are. I'm not really getting true alpha. We're heading a little to the home stretch. And then a very special offer for all of you. So capability 6, the last one. I didn't want to make this onerous, so I actually kept it to 6 capabilities. I guess the most important one, the capability of the family itself. This is the deepest one. The one that ultimately decides whether the wealth survives. You can be excellent on the 5 others and still fail because of this. A capable structure attached to an incapable family. You could take that line from me. A capable structure attached to an incapable family. That's where, let's go with the word dynasty. I know that sounds a little like 80s. That's where the dynasty is lost. The truest question in this instrument is this: if the family is the family becoming genuinely more capable or merely wealthier? If the answer is merely wealthier, everything you're paying for is an expensive way to lose ground, again, quietly and slowly, like at the frog in the pot of water that gets warmer and warmer. You don't even know. I've been doing this a long time, because here is the pattern almost no one names. most families are getting richer. I mean, I could state, even if your investment portfolios really aren't cutting edge, maybe bland, not really teaching the rising generation about how the wealth was created and how the world is changing now and how you have to adapt. But even if you're happy getting 4 to 5%, well, inflation and taxes may eat you up your purchasing power. But on the surface, you're going to look at it as, well, oh, but I'm getting richer. Well, you're not. And wealth is defined more simply by money, but for sure, that is definitely a part of it. So here's the question. Most families are getting richer and less capable at the same time. They're getting less capable generationally over time at the same time. And their reporting only measures the first one. And remember what I told you to hold, that judgment dies with people. For the first time in human history, it doesn't have to. The founder's judgment, why she passed on the deal, how she read a counterparty, what the last crisis and maybe challenge taught can now be captured way better than ever before, made permanent and handed to the grandchild who never met her. This is what finally makes capability inheritable. Every generation before ours kind of fought the forgetting and mostly lost. Ours is the first that can end it. And this is the question underneath all of it. The one families avoid until it's too late. Your heirs, do they actually want in? Or are they politely waiting for permission to want out? Because you don't give the next generation a seat. You better give them capability. A seat is inherited and often resented. Capability is built and owned. So I promised I would come a bit back to like those two numbers. When you finish, and I'll tell you how to access it in about 5 minutes, if you haven't figured it out yet, and go on to angelorobles.com. But when you finish, the instrument automatically and beautifully laid out, including with commentary, hands you the total. You don't have to write into a PDF or scan it and send it to me. This is all automated. But if you really do enjoy a very beautiful PDF and want to print and share it with the family, I'm going to tell you how to do that as well. And effectively, it's all at angelorobles.com. So when you finish, the instrument hands you the total. And then does, like I said, the thing that really matters. It surfaces the two special numbers inside it. Ignore the total only for a second. And really, you want to look at those. It could be your lowest capability. That's your disproportionate gain point, where the least work produces the largest improvement, because it's currently dragging every capability that depends on it. That's where you start. Think of it. The fence could be incredible, but if there's one weak link, it may all fall apart. So back to the two, your highest capability sitting right next to your lowest. That's the masked risk, the dangerous one, because your strength there is actively hiding. It's hiding how exposed you are. A family with elite investments and weak governance doesn't feel the governance risk. The returns make you numb to it until, and again, I've been doing this for a long time around the world, until they don't. And eventually, in a long enough time frame, they won't. The pattern that ends dynasties is rarely the weakness that a family could see. It's the weakness a strength conceals. I'm giving you all my consultative catchphrases and things that I've found to be true invaluable over my time doing this. I'm going to say it again. It's a pretty damn good one. The pattern that ends dynasties is rarely a weakness a family can see. It's a weakness that your strength could be concealing. And you don't have a family office yet? Then the before mentioned section 0 already gave you like your version, the price gap, and the 6 in order that you should build them and have a foundation. And the 2 numbers, even though the parts about an actual family office may not apply as much to you, you're still using advisors, and it still is going to be an incredibly valuable resource. That's what, to me, the continuity index finds, all in about 20 minutes. And even better, like I said, it's instant and on the spot. So I have kind of we could go with the word an offer. And maybe this week, now's not the time. Maybe this week, sometime in August. I did a debate 2 years ago. Yes, a couple of years ago, I was one of those people that said you shouldn't have a family office unless you had probably like 750 million. I was wrong. Or maybe better stated, things changed. We do have lender versus the IRS here in the US, and certain tax advantages you would get by properly structuring an entity as a family office that you can't get as simply a private investor. There's an art and science to that. Technology and, something called AI. It changed everything. It's not even 4 years old. And the last 2 or 3 months, really since the summer, wow. Like my 2 books totaling 600 pages, I thought updating them about every 3 to 4 weeks was enough. I think I may have to move it up to every 10 days. It's incredible how things are changing. I will challenge anyone and debate them on the subject of you do not need $750 million, even though I did say that 4 or 5 years ago. It's not true, at least anymore. And I know I'm going through it. I help build them. They initially start becoming members in my organization. And this continuity index is absolutely coupled with my 700 pages creating a top 1% family office and my family office playbook and the in-person and some level before we even get to consulting. It may not be needed. But with me, you're simply a member. You're part of the brotherhood or sisterhood, whatever you want to call it. I got you. Now, I'm going to do something that's going to break that down a lot. If not this week, I'm pretty busy. My AI Family Office Masterclass is the week after, August 12th and 13th. So if I don't get to it this week, it will have to wait to the week after. But I promised you that I would have, let's go with the word, somewhat of an offer. So here's what I want to do, and here's exactly how it works. The continuity index, it's free. Take it tonight. You get your 6 capability scores, your 2 numbers that I noted, and an honest map of where your family actually stands. Scored on the spot. Something almost no principal ever produces. Whether you run a family office or you're deciding whether to build one, the map is yours at no cost. And again, from angelorobles.com, you could access the one that you do digitally online and get everything instantly. Or you could even print out the beautiful PDF. And I kind of like that kind of stuff, maybe because of my age. I don't know. I'll be straight with you because it's kind of the only way I know how to do this. A reference point it's not a solution. Knowing your mass risk is not closing it. Pricing the gap is not building the structure. And the one thing a diagnostic, which I guess is what this is, cannot give you is the one thing that changes the trajectory. Peers at your altitude building the same capabilities with nothing to sell you. In the architecture to close the gaps you've just found or build the family office you don't have. Besides my decades of experience and working with families, and I love Peter Drucker, come on, the king of practice management, coupled with family office principles, what I do, and first principles, moving quickly, removing bottlenecks, and now AI, like you're in my house now. That's what I do. But you need to understand the families going a similar path and those that have been at it for hundreds of years, the mistakes they made, the lessons learned, and who are the best thought leaders on tax policy, on jurisdictional fluidity, on estate planning, on a variety of different things. And that's all effectively in my house of my membership. That is what my private intelligence and strategy community, my membership, SFO continuity is. The room where you score becomes a change. Yeah, the master classes, we build the architecture with you, the forums, the frameworks, the books, the resources. Like I said, the 700-page operating system that is not for sale and only exists for my members. And let me tell you why maybe that room cost what it cost. Every other room in this industry, well, not every other, most other rooms in this industry, they're free because someone in it is often paying to sell you. This one, 98% of the time is not. That's the whole difference. Sure, at my two larger forums, we'll have a little bit, and there'll often be a good quality under my rules. But my dinners, my private Zooms, my breakfast meetings, my master classes, those are pure as pure can be. So go to angelorobles.com and learn more. So here's the one thing, maybe even to do tonight before you sleep. Go to the angelorobles.com. You'll see the tab. It's right there. You can't miss it for Continuity Index. It's a simple page. Take a look, scroll down, jump right into it. It instantly opens. Take it, 20 minutes. Answer it honestly. Don't overthink it. As the family actually operates, not as you intend it to. That's important. You need to be honest here. Your score appears in a beautiful graphic the moment you finish. Your 6 capabilities, your disproportionate gain point that I mentioned earlier, your masked risk. Ooh, that's an important one. And if you don't have a family office yet, what its absence is costing you and the blueprint to build it. Maybe some of the questions are going to be a little more targeted if you have an existing family office, but you'll figure it out and print out the PDF. That's all up at angelorobles.com because I think that's going to be very, very valuable for you. I personally read these completed indexes. If yours is a pattern where I can move the outcome, we'll talk. A private 20-minute briefing. One problem, one point of view, one decision, a briefing. And that's an important part and a reference. Members of my SFO continuity, besides the fact that my books, masterclasses upcoming, and my forums are going to integrate the 6 capabilities and myself and thought leaders to help, and peers, maybe the most important peers, are going to be there to help and support. But that's the one where let's go. Let's roll up our sleeves, not no 20-minute briefing. I want your family office to be great. And if you're looking to build a family office, and sometimes that's not the best option for every family, let's have an honest discussion. There are going to be trade-offs and challenges, money and time commitment that may not be a good fit, maybe even for some billion-dollar families. We don't know until you take the continuity index, become a member. Let's have the conversation. Let's do a deeper dive, get access to my books. The families who move first are not smarter than you. They simply stopped trying to see around these corners alone. Everything the index measures is buildable. Every gap it finds can be closed. Every family office that doesn't exist yet can build right the first time. The only question, the only one, is whether you build it deliberately now or wait for the environment to expose it for you. Take the continuity index. Find out where your family actually stands. Find your number, then come in to SFO continuity and let's change it. Let's make it better. I look forward to seeing you inside. So upcoming a little bit for this week, many of you got a invite to my private Zoom tomorrow, meaning Monday. If you're live, this will matter. Something that I'm not going to publish, where I go over 1 hour on AI for the world of finance and family offices. That is meant to be private. That's a darn good breakdown. And really going from just chatting to building. So I do look forward to that. I may do a second one later this week. And again, my AI family office, very immersive masterclass is August 12th and 13th. The seat is membership. You have to be a member. My New York Forum is coming up in September. We have other masterclasses later in the year into next year. And the dates for my 4 days in Palm Beach, March 8th through 11th, are already up. I have multiple other books that I'm working on. I'm always rewriting because you can't just let things go. Things are changing so rapidly. Lord knows with AI, that's like every 2 weeks now. But even as it relates to my other subjects, my playbook, my creating a top 1% family office, my sovereign risk and disaster preparedness, a little bit less so my billionaire mastermind. Those are all things that the world is changing rapidly. And again, of course I want to enjoy some time off this summer. I'm not always wearing a suit and working, although it feels that way. But like Sergey Brin going back to Google, this is a very special time in history now with what's happening in AI. Again, under 4 years old. By the end of this year, by this time next year, like, it's going to be very, very different. And I want you to have an edge. I want you to be prepared. And again, going to angelorobles.com and just jumping in, becoming a member. And no rest for the weary this summer with my continuity index being rolled out and how as a member, I want to help you with that. My books, my 600 pages on AI integration in 2 books for family offices. Next week, my masterclass. And then around that corner in mid-September, kind of the 14th, 15th, and 16th, my New York Forum. This is it. This is the time. But I'm really excited about the continuity index. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I put months of work into it. And again, you could go to angelorobles.com. You'll see the tabs for it. You could do the online version right there, get instant feedback. And if you want, and I thought about whether some of you, but maybe like me, being a little older, you may like the PDF. You could also print it and share it and have conversations around it. Nothing is perfect. I'm always looking to make things better. But I wanted to get this out there and put something unique and special in the community's hands. And already, since I softly put it up a day or two ago, We've already got some people that have filled it out that are scheduled Zooms and calls with me into this week. So I do look forward to that. Again, there's a lot going on. Sergey Brin did come back to Google for a reason. He's already worth like 400 billion or whatever, 300 billion. It's not because of money. It's because it's an incredible time. And we have to look at it that way too, that this is an incredible opportunity. I just don't want you as a principal, a rising gen, an executive in a family office, or servicing the community to fall behind. And it's so easy for us to be lulled into that and for that to happen. Thank you. Some of the comments. A good morning from Hong Kong. That is awesome. I do some Zooms and other things with relationships there. So yes, I know it's a massive time difference. I've done like 11 o'clock my time, and I've also done crazy times in the morning, like 6 or 7. Come on, I sleep like 3 or 4 hours a day. Hong Kong is awesome. Pound for pound per their miles, their real estate, their kilometers, maybe more family offices than way more than New York, pound for pound, than any other place on earth. Any. And yes, I look forward in the next 12 months to go into Asia. Some incredible, not only people and countries there, but the wealth and how it's expanding and the nuances. I can't wait. I'm going to go. Okay, a little bit of a wise guy there, but that's okay. Some other comment. Maybe no, a crypto coin. How do you have that with me? I mean, yeah, I still got some money in Bitcoin, and happy to. A little bit of Ethereum, and I very much believe in tokenization. So all these things are going to be awesome. Where do all of the quirky things always come from? YouTube, never from LinkedIn or other platforms. Okay, we got some people that have too much time as well as other things on their hands. Well, everyone, it's Angelo Robles. If you're live, it's a Sunday evening. It is time for me to say goodbye. You all know how to reach me. Go to the website. Look forward to hopefully some of you doing the continuity index and scheduling a call or a Zoom. And again, lots going on. The AI Masterclass, August 12th and 13th, is around the corner. 2 days of incredible immersion with the best faculty in the world. You are immersed like you wouldn't believe, and you are building. I don't care if you're 7 years old and never touched a computer. You are going to do incredible, incredible things. Everyone, it's Angelo Robles. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Look forward to next time.